So what exactly is a PM? रोल क्या होता है PM का exactly?
दुनिया में बिजनेसेस चलते हैं. एक पर्सन who comes and acts like a priest and marries them together by leveraging technology. That guy is called as product manager.
PM शादी करवाता है.
I did this one master class on negotiation and like absolute gold.
ऐसा क्या था उसके अंदर? मेरे को इंटरेस्टिंग चीज पूछनी थी. बिग बिलियन डे जब तुमने बात छेड़ी थी. बिग बिलियन डे अभी अभी निकला है. बिग बिलियन डे एकदम यहाँ पे iPhone 13 इतने का, iPhone 14 इतने का. What मतलब हमारे लिए तो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा फेस्टिवल टाइप का होता है कि भाई सस्ती चीजें ग्रैब कर लो.
Right.
What goes behind the scene in Flipkart?
What goes behind the scene?
Welcome all of you to another episode of Making Sense, and this is your host Dipankar.
This is your co-host Shivam, and we have a really interesting guest joining us yet in another episode who has a really incredible journey in his PM career. If you don't know what is PM, we have Anuj over here.
Welcome.
Hello.
Anuj.
Hey guys, hi. I'm Anuj. Thank you so much, Shivam. Thank you so much, Dipankar, for inviting me here. Really happy, and hey, thanks.
Yeah.
So it's just like how he introduced, कि this is something very really special, PM. So we'll start with what is actually this PM, because in our design team, what we basically discuss, PM is someone who do nothing.
मतलब मैं PM हूँ, ठीक है, लेकिन मुझे पता है PM क्या होता है. लेकिन people usually think तो PM है, प्रधानमंत्री है. What is a PM? Can you just explain quickly?
हाँ यार, मतलब एक थोड़ा लंबा आंसर है, बट एक ये बोल देता हूँ क्या नहीं है. ये बोल देता हूँ सबसे पहले. PM is not प्रधानमंत्री, first off. Second, PM is also not program manager. It is product manager. अब इस पे आते हैं कि एक्चुअली होता क्या है चीज.
तुमने वर्स का नाम नहीं लिया, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर. You always get pointed as a project manager भी रहा है.
हाँ यार, the number of times we have gotten pointed out, it's crazy.
So what exactly is a PM? रोल क्या होता है PM का exactly?
यार मतलब everyone will have their own definitions वैसे तो, कि you will have a very different definition than what I will have, right? एक बहुत क्लासिकल सा आंसर होता है जो ऐसा पॉलिश करके बोलते हैं बाहर, वो पहले बोल देता हूँ. then I will give you I think little bit of my answer to it, right? क्लासिकल आंसर इज कि देखो यार, दुनिया में बिजनेसेस चलते हैं, right? Typically this is for the product sort of companies out there or tech companies out there कि यार उनका business होगा, right? And they solve it for some kind of user, right? तो कुछ business goals होंगे, कुछ user goals होंगे. एक person who comes and acts like a priest and marries them together by leveraging technology. That guy is called as product manager. But this is the very polished answer I get it.
तो PM शादी करवाता है. किसकी और किसकी
शादी करवाता है? इन सब की
शादी करवाता है. किसकी? बिजनेस की,
यूजर रिक्वायरमेंट और प्रोडक्ट रिक्वायरमेंट.
तीन चीजें हो गई.
नहीं, business user by leveraging technology.
अच्छा.
This is proper typical chat GPT kind of answer. Like definition wise.
अभी तो क्लासिकल हो गया. अभी what do you think is your definition of a PM?
Okay, my definition is यार देखो, anything big that you do, right? Any product that you do or anything big also that you do it with a group of people.
Correct.
एक टीम होती है. अब जब टीम होती है तो डिफरेंट स्ट्रेंथ्स लेके आते हैं. एक बंदा ये काम करेगा, दूसरा बंदा भी काम करेगा, राइट? सो one person who comes together and be like and says and leads the sort of initiative. क्योंकि जो लैंग्वेज ए को समझती है ना, वो बी को नहीं समझती. ए जो सोचता है वो बी को नहीं समझता. बट एक बंदा होता है कि यार लाइक ठीक है, तुम ये हो, ओके, हमको ये बनाना है. दैट क्लैरिफिकेशन की जॉब जो होती है ना,
जो ए एंड बी है उसमें, जैसे अभी एक रियल टर्म, बिकॉज ए और बी में मैं कंफ्यूज हो गया. सो ए इज बेसिकली इन प्रोडक्ट की टेक गाय हो सकता है, एंड बी समवन लाइक QA का भी लोग हो सकता है. इधर कोई डिजाइन जो देता है, शिप करता है, वो भी हो सकता है. सो
यस एग्जांपल लेके सोचते हैं. लाइक टिपिकली three broad wings again. One is tech, the developers of there. One is business, जो लोग business lead लेके आते कि नहीं यार हमको तो इतना profit लेके आने या इतना धंधा करना है हमको, right? Those things, and then there is design of course, who's there, who's the user like guardian of sorts, right? तो तीन लोग आते हैं and तीनों के अलग अलग languages हैं. Each of those is कि यार हमको ये करना है. Tech will be like हाँ यार ये चीज़ें कर सकते हैं हम. Business will be like नहीं तो हमको तो इतनी चीज़ें चाहिए, right? PM is the one कि यार देखो समझो तीनों like let's do this, इतने में इतना ही होगा and हमें ये 10 चीज़ें नहीं करनी है, हमें 4 ही चीज़ें करनी है because these are the most important ones.
Okay.
Right?
Like
so,
framing the right thing.
I think one liner is कि PM brings clarity.
Okay.
Like what problem to choose, then like what should its solution be, what part of the problem will be solved, all those bunch of things, but हाँ by and large
इसके लिए हर चीज़
brings
का knowledge
clarity.
होना चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत.
हाँ यार थोड़ा तो जानना आना चाहिए.
मतलब थोड़ा सब कुछ आता है PM को, टेक में भी. और
ऐसा PM सोचता है एटलीस्ट. ऐसा PM सोचता है क्योंकि डेवलपर्स को यूजुअली बहुत ज़्यादा सीन ये रहता है कि भाई तू करता क्या है, तू मीटिंग के अलावा और क्या करता है.
True.
और हम सोचते हैं कि हम काफ़ी कुछ करते हैं. ये सीन रहता है.
हमारी कंपनी में भी है PM, तो जनरली बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि आ गया ये, फिर से आ गया, एक रिक्वायरमेंट लेके आया और कहीं वो P0 आइटम बनाया, अगर जो P-1 भी होता है,
P-1
उसके बाद रात और दिन भूल जाता है डेवलपर की कब से स्टार्ट करना है काम, कब करना है. लाइक समवन जो कि ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्टेड नहीं है.
प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर तुम्हारा यमराज बन के आता है.
करेक्ट. लाइक कुछ बोल सकते हो कि
लेकिन तुमको ये नहीं पता प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर का CEO उसके लिए यमराज बन के आता है इन सब रिक्वायरमेंट के लिए.
भाई yes, very very true. I mean ऐसे लगेगा कि यार नहीं these are like exaggerated terms, but he will also agree कि यार ये तो सच ही है.
ठीक है. सो
क्या ही झूठ है इसमें.
बेसिकली PM के बारे में एटलीस्ट वी हैव सम आइडिया नाउ कि व्हाट PM डू. Everyone has like unique journey, and I think from being an IIT grad, I think बाद में हमें पता चलेगा, you'll explain everything, and now landing into like working at Flipkart, like how's everything, like यहाँ तक कैसे पहुँचे, how's your journey?
हाँ जी यार, सबसे पहले मैं फ्लिपकार्ट के बारे में बात करूंगा वैसे तो कि अभी
आप करो. फ्लिपकार्ट के बारे में एक ये बात हमारा था.
ये फ्लिपकार्ट है, यहाँ पे थंबनेल में भी हम फ्लिपकार्ट ही बहुत भर के लगाने वाले हैं. तो यस, स्टार्ट विद फ्लिपकार्ट इफ यू वांट टू.
हाँ जी, यहाँ पे कहीं तो होगा फ्लिपकार्ट जो भी है, जस्ट प्लगिंग इट इन. हाँ जी यार, इट्स बीन वंडरफुल. इट्स बीन ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 year with Flipkart. I joined Flipkart as a associate program. Oh.
You are again saying yourself as program manager.
I joined Flipkart.
Rewind back करो. अनुज ने बोला कोई प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर बोलता है, कोई प्रोग्राम मैनेजर बोलता है, कोई प्रधानमंत्री बोलता है.
कभी मैं भी बोल लेता हूँ.
कभी मैं भी बोल लेता हूँ.
ठीक है. Been 1.5 year with Flipkart as an associate product manager, and loving it so far yaar. Like good opportunity, good lot of responsibilities. ऐसा लगता नहीं कि यार ठीक है एक बंदा आया है and इसको क्या ही काम दे, और it's very theoretical. It's very hands-on sort of an experience, and जो scale है Flipkart की, that is I think the biggest USP of sorts. But yeah, that is about Flipkart.
Do you even get to go that hands-on on that level of scale?
हाँ यार, like for example, right now we had Big Billion days, as we call them, BBD, right? So I was handling like one big piece of sorts, like जहाँ पे I sort of fucked up where we had like few orders stuck. Few is a lot of them. The few happens
like
to be 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs.
नहीं समझ आया क्या बोल रहे थे
यार. ऑर्डर स्टक इज दिस ना कि एक होता है, आप ऐसे समझ लो, आप किसी भी वेबसाइट पे जाते हो, आप ऑर्डर करोगे चीजें, राइट? आपको बस वो बोलना होता है कि ठीक है बाय नाउ, राइट? दैट इज ऑल
यूजर को दिखता है.
हाँ, दैट इज ऑल यूजर को दिखता है.
करेक्ट.
But there goes lot behind like getting that product to your home, right? Like for example, procuring it from someone, storing it, packing it, right? And delivering it actually. But even for all of this, we need one plan कि ठीक है यार मैं यहाँ से उठाऊंगा, यहाँ स्टोर करूंगा, ये पैकेजिंग होगी, ये बंदा इसको जाके और someone will do it, right?
All of that calculation happens.
All of that calculation का platform is our platform.
Okay.
Right? So वहाँ पे by stuck I mean कि orders तो ले लिए, इनके plans ही नहीं बने.
अच्छा.
So
हमारे तक पहुंचेंगे कैसे?
अच्छा, वो जो नीचे ऑप्शन दिखा था delivered by 7th of July.
Yes.
So वहाँ पे तुम देखोगे अच्छा ये इतना प्लान जा रहा है इसके पीछे.
Yes. तुमको दिखेगा बस इतना सा डेट तो स्प्लिट करना है, तुमको क्या ही करना है, right? But there goes a lot of back calculation behind.
So that's a very good example of a product, right? Like user को क्या मतलब है, मुझे product का मिल रहा है. अब भाई तुम्हारे कितने भी algorithm जा रहे हो पीछे, right? You as you mentioned, this procurement, this storing, this delivering, पूरा supply chain management. But at the end of the day तुम बस दिखा रहे हो कि भाई ये 4 दिन में डिलीवर होगा तुम्हारे पास. It's so easy, मतलब it's so hard at the back end but so simple at the front end.
True.
तो
Very, very true.
थोड़ा सा मेरे को इंटरेस्टिंग चीज पूछनी थी बिग बिलियन डे, जब तुमने बात छेड़ी दी है तो बिग बिलियन डे अभी निकला है. बिग बिलियन डे एकदम यहाँ पे iPhone 13 इतने का, iPhone 14 इतने का. व्हाट मतलब हमारे लिए तो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा फेस्टिवल टाइप का होता है कि भाई सस्ती सस्ती चीजें ग्रैब कर लो. व्हाट गोज बिहाइंड द सीन इन फ्लिपकार्ट?
What goes behind the scene? Oh my God, there goes so much behind the scenes. भाई
this is something कि बहुत लोगों को जानना होगा कि भाई वो प्राइस कैसे फ्लक्चुएट होता है, क्योंकि बहुत वीडियो आते हैं रात को 12 बजे ही ऑर्डर करना, 1 बजते ही वो पैसा बढ़ सकता है.
Yes. पहले तो Big Billion Days it started approximately I think 10 years ago. This was the 10th edition of Big Billion Days.
10 years anniversary.
Yes, 10 year anniversary. Like Big Billion Days was not actually Big Billion Days. It was Big Billion Day. It was just for one day. And interesting story. The co-founder of Flipkart, right, Sachin Bansal. So once he was traveling from Bangalore to Bangalore airport or coming from Bangalore airport to this, and he saw a lot of like those posters that you see out there of Diwali aa rahi hai, sale chali hai, वगैरह वगैरह. And in 2013 he was like, yaar, I want something in like this on Flipkart also. There should be a festival sort of a thing, right? So hence he started the Big Billion Day thingy. और इतनी crazy चीज़ I like, I'm not sure if you remember, but pen drives you are getting for 1 rupee.
Yeah.
1 rupee.
Yeah.
Imagine. That was the first edition of Big Billion Day. And to me, and first Big Billion Day, yes, it was a big grand event of sorts, like thousands of crores churned in like in one day of sorts.
Churned.
Yeah, sorry, thousands of crores earned. In.
Okay.
I mean, churned is also not wrong, but anyways, we'll not.
Why is that? बहुत Flipkart बहुत पैसा यूज करता है क्या?
I mean, earn a lot and burn a lot also, because to do that, to marketing at that scale. And also for every item, right? Like ऐसा नहीं होता कि for every item you earn, right? For few items you actually burn money than gain money in hopes that that customer will repeat, that customer will come back again, right? So that's a different schema we can go into later. But trying to say Big Billion Day, very very big festival, even in offices that we have, right? Like we have this huge office in Outer Ring Road. वहाँ पे everybody comes to the office, they stay 24/7 for those entirety of those days, right? And
everyone.
So this is the background. सारे Flipkart employees बैठ जाते हैं अंदर ऑफिस के.
So 7 दिन का एक फेस्टिवल होता है Flipkart के अंदर ही.
Yes, we have.
Is it an actual festival? तुम्हारी काम कर करके हालत खराब हो रही रहती है.
नहीं, actual festival. We have, every floor is filled with some kind of activities. There'll be music events, there'll be dance events, there'll be something to cheer you up. Food will be free for employees. Whole big festival kind of thing. And जैसे ही आपका 12 बजने होता है, right? Like on that first day, early access day जो बोलते हैं हम, which was on 7th of October this time. वहाँ पे everybody just gets glued to the screen. कि ठीक है यार, okay fine, we have to see what is happening, right? And especially for tech systems, like my team is a tech, like heavy into tech system, right? It's a platform, the platform I was talking about earlier on. तो वहाँ पे I remember we were sitting like close to 30 people in perhaps like वहाँ this kind of room. We were sitting in glued to our screens. Our architect telling us कि ठीक है यार, आपको ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है, ये चीज़ें बंद करनी, so that things are stable, right? So very crazy, and you can see those figures like okay fine, इतने लाख ऑर्डर्स आ गए, इतने लाख ऑर्डर्स आ गए, ओके करोड़ों में चलेगा.
डैशबोर्ड सारे बंदों के लिए अवेलेबल रहता है ऑफिस में.
I think वो बड़े स्क्रीन पे होगा, बहुत जगह पे लगा.
And you see this growth right in front of your eyes. In real time.
In real time at 12 AM, imagine.
And I think वो numbers भी बहुत बड़े होते होंगे and वो fluctuate भी बहुत high rate पे करते हैं.
Yes. Though phones and things you talk about, right? Maximum 4-5 minutes they'll stay. Like these crazy deals.
So like this optimized between the balance of की scale भी है और hands on भी है पूरा. Amazing है.
Yeah. Very.
So ये start Amazon का पहले हुआ था या फिर Flipkart का?
Flipkart started the Big Billion Day. Amazon followed it with Great Indian Festival.
Okay.
Like
this is
truth be told, in 2013 there was no Amazon in India.
In India. But पहले उसका था Great Festival kind of कुछ.
Outside would be there. There was nothing like Great Indian Festival.
ठीक है. So now we were actually discussing about your journey.
हाँ यार.
So this is all about Flipkart का thing.
हाँ जी.
How you enjoy working, partying and everything in office.
Flipkart का तो तुम्हारा बहुत अच्छा.
I think वो festival time is something that is like really exciting for me also कि चलो 7 दिन के लिए it's like बहुत ज़्यादा काम होगा but still like lots of things to learn.
तुम्हारा बड़ा कस्टमर एक ये भी बैठा हुआ है, ठीक है, बंदे ने क्या iPhone 15, AirPods, iPad क्या नहीं मंगाया. तुम्हारे आधे नंबर जो ग्रो हो रहे होंगे दीपांकर राज की वजह से.
ग्रेट इंडियन फेस्टिवल में हर लोग बैठता है उस दिन की भाई अगर जो कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट है तो रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं भी है तो भी बना के कुछ ले लेते हैं सो दैट हाँ सो बीच के साल में हमें लेना ना पड़े. लेकिन कोई बड़ा चीज़ लेना है, लेट्स से वॉशिंग मशीन लेना है, ये सही टाइम में लेने का. तो सो वीडियो भरा हुआ है, लोग रिव्यूज़ भरे हुए हैं कि भाई ये खरीदना ये खरीदना, तो वो मार्केट ही बन गया है. IP ऐसा बनाया गया है.
Definitely. And
people look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
It's such a hype now.
The big purchases, like you talked about, everybody just saves. And we also talk to our friends, relatives, and everybody. Okay, one more thing we have since we are onto this topic is the cheat sheet. Sort of a thing, right? So, okay, cheat sheet. Context addition is a sheet that Flipkart employees get to know कि यार ठीक है ये प्रोडक्ट इतने प्राइस को आएगा, राइट, सो दैट द यूजर्स कैन ऐड टू देयर कार्ट और प्लान देयर परचेसेस अर्लियर ऑन इटसेल्फ.
इवन एम्प्लॉयर्स भी.
हाँ, मतलब एम्प्लॉइज के लिए ही होता है.
उनके लिए कुछ एक्स्ट्रा बेनिफिट नहीं है कि आप आराम से ऑर्डर करो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
नहीं, वी डोंट हैव दैट, बट वी हैव सम एडिशनल डिस्काउंट ऑन अदर कंपनी. जैसे मिंत्रा इज आल्सो अ फ्लिपकार्ट कंपनी.
तुमको चीट शीट मिली थी?
हाँ,
ये पूरा इंडिया को मिल गया. तो
अच्छा, तुमने क्या खरीदा बिग बिलियन डे से?
बिग बिलियन डे से आई गॉट एयरपॉड्स यार. माय एप्पल इकोसिस्टम इज नाउ कंप्लीट.
ओह माय गॉड, ये देख रहे हो फ्लिपकार्ट एम्प्लॉइज गाइस बाइंग एयरपॉड्स एंड स्टफ.
यस,
एक्स्ट्रा डिस्काउंट के लिए.
हाँ जी.
Okay, so we're continuing to your journey. Let's start with a little more back.
See, because your background is IIT, so mostly वहाँ से software engineer और
अच्छा, तो बहुत पुराने समय से जाएंगे हम.
Like we have time, we can discuss this.
हाँ यार, so I joined IIT Madras in 2017. ठीक है, तो 2 चीज़ें तो मेरे को क्लियर थी वहाँ पे कि यार पढ़ लिया है अब तक काफी सारा अच्छा खासा टाइप्स, और नहीं पढ़ना है मेरे को.
Mostly typical IIT thing.
मतलब IIT जाने के बाद रियलाइज किया कि IIT खत्म होने के बाद?
नहीं, जाने से पहले आई न्यू कि यार एकेडमिक्स वोंट बी माय प्रायोरिटी. कि यार मैं पढ़ूंगा और यहाँ से लाइक एकेडमिकली मेरे को कुछ लाइक आई रियली वांट टू ऑब्जर्व.
ये हर आईआईटी का सीन रहता है क्या?
क्योंकि मैंने जितना भी देखा है ना, क्योंकि एक बार मैं चला गया उसके बाद मेरा पढ़ने का थोड़ा भी मन नहीं था. अरे नहीं, करते हैं कुछ और करते हैं.
Maybe I knew it even before joining because my brother, he was already in IIT Guwahati, right? Okay. So he joined in 2015.
Family tree.
Peer pressure भी था.
Peer pressure भी होगा.
And I knew कि यार मुझे academics पे उतना जोर नहीं डालना है, and that was there. And secondly, I knew that I am going to be around like crazy smart people. I knew that like right from start. There's also little addition of कि यार थोड़ा imposter, या आपको लगता है कि यार इतने smart लोग हैं आपके पास, आपके around, right? So not exactly imposter, but you feel a little कि okay fine, बहुत smart लोग हैं यार, बहुत smart लोग हैं, right? So you have that thing, but I was positive on this कि यार hey, इतने smart लोगों के साथ I will be around, would like to learn and have fun with these folks a lot. So ये 2 चीज़ों के साथ आई थी, बहुत बकचोदी करी, बहुत सीखा. a few experiences built me up though, right? Like, and those are very unconventional sort of experiences. Like if I have to, okay, can you guess my CG? और तुम लोग भी अपना CG बताओ
CGPA.
वैसे. हाँ, CGPA.
Like final, huh?
Like 9, 8 or 9? 9?
Okay.
Mine was 9.
9. अरे भाई बढ़िया यार.
But वो college.
मतलब इसका कितना होगा?
इसका guessing.
हाँ.
अराउंड देखो अगर जो गेस करने
पहले
बोला तो
अपने बता दे,
मेरा भी बता भाई.
7 to 8 अगर जो तुमने ऐसे पूछा है अदरवाइज इट्स 9 to 10
इतना बड़ा रीजन है.
मेरा CGPA 9 था भाई.
8 से 8.5
मैं पहले सेमेस्टर में 10 मारा था और आखिरी सेमेस्टर में 10 मारा था. बाकी बीच में क्या किया आई डोंट इवन नो.
8 to 8.5
8 to 8.5 एक नंबर बता. 8 point something.
8.7
तेरा
सॉरी गेस मार मेरा.
8 9
7.17.
Okay. So, IIT grads getting low CG.
इवन इसका 7.1 जो है इट्स फार बेटर देन मेनी ऑफ द टियर 3 के बच्चे से बिकॉज वो ब्रांडिंग एक लगता है ना जो IIT का.
ये क्लिप मेरे मम्मी पापा को मत नहीं तो वो मेरी जान ले लेंगे.
हाँ यार. So and I knew that it should not be a big problem. Okay, problem होगी क्योंकि 7 के ऊपर नहीं है तो many companies will reject you on in placements. But once you're above 7, I was like, ठीक है, it is in safe grounds. So I did not put a lot of efforts, but I did a whole bunch of other things. I was in media team. I was directing, writing videos for a year or so. Then I was in Hyperloop team. Hyperloop team, I was leading the business team for them. Like we got into couple of
Hyperloop
fights.
कौन सा वो Elon Musk वाला है?
हाँ. तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट वहाँ पे बनाए थे मद्रास.
बनाए थे नहीं. So Elon Musk he started a competition of sorts. SpaceX Hyperloop pod competition.
और इंडिया से बहुत लोग जाते हैं.
और इंडिया
तो क्या है ये Hyperloop basically like if you want to dumb it down?
If you want to dumb it down, it is the fastest mode of transport theoretically known yet on land. ठीक है. That is Hyperloop.
Hyperloop IIT में क्या कर रहा है?
No, Hyperloop के लिए कॉन्सेप्ट सब बनाते हैं यहाँ पे. So demo kind of thing.
Elon Musk, he did not have the time or energy, whatever that is. In 2014 or so, he was like, hey, I'll release a white paper. White paper is basically a paper you release to get the concept verified. Concept verify हो चुका. Then he opened a competition for everyone across the globe to be like, हाँ ठीक है हम competition organize करते हैं. Let's build this tech together, right? So every year, teams from all across the globe, university teams, they used to go there, right? So Avishkar Hyperloop was the first Indian team to reach to the finals of the SpaceX Hyperloop pod competition in that year, in 2019. It was not only the only Indian team, the only Asian team as well to have gotten there, right? So I had just joined the team. I was not part of the team that went to the headquarters of SpaceX. But hey, I got into the team. Next year we cracked another Hyperloop competition, but then COVID happened, right? So that, and then the final thing that hit me was this ki yaar, let's build a startup, right? So
ये तो अभी नॉर्मल हो गया सबका. कॉलेज के अंदर एक आध दिन सबको दिमाग में चढ़ता है कि भाई आज ही मेरे को बिजनेस बनाना है.
And trust me, like that's such a solid decision. Like everything that
I
I'm
can
right?
very much
like,
agree. Very much agree.
Very very solid decision because यार no liabilities and आप fail भी हो जाओगे तो क्या हो जाएगा यार तुम्हारे max to max क्या हो जाएगा. You will fail in some course, might be, right? But very solid experience that I gained from here, right? Obviously
startup has kind of in college become जैसे actually तुम conceptually देखो तो projects क्या होते हैं? Experiment, practical, learn on your own.
True.
अब वो हो गया रट्टा मारने का तरीका. ठीक है, तो लोगों को practical करना सीखना भी खुद पे, startup खुद से कर रहे हैं.
True, but I mean even if we say so, right? Like perhaps in our backgrounds or our friend circle, perhaps it's common to have a startup or at least be a part of startup somehow. Maybe intern हो या खुद से start हो. खुद से start तो maybe a little lesser, but intern का part या a part of startup, that's very very common in our circles. But अगर तुम larger इस पे देखो ना, that is still not true. Many of the people, they'll still go to the like colleges, even in IITs, majority of, in fact, like our batch had the highest number of startups. It was 3. Right? But even if you can take in case of like total student strength, it will be lesser than 5% or so. Right? So that's the ratio we're talking about, and like hey, built me a lot, right?
What was the idea?
So okay, another plugin then. Yes. So the idea was this. I'll tell you the word first, then I'll come to what it was, right? So it came from the name of our startup was Resonect. Resonect comes from two words, resonate and connect, right? If you recall, something I told you about the second point why when coming to IT, right? Like I knew I was around like very smart folks right from start. तो ऐसे होता है ना कि that network is so strong, like in that campus, 700 acre का campus, 7,000 plus students and like such crazy smart students, but I knew कि यार वो network की उतनी
यूज नहीं कर,
उतना एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं हो पा रहा वो नेटवर्क.
काफी अच्छा से फ्लेक्स मारा है जो बीच में.
And since I like had this thing कि यार hey, there are social media, of course, there is LinkedIn, there is Instagram, there is like whole bunch of other things, but specific to IIT Madras there was nothing, right? So I was like, hey, let's build something together. So my flatmate, right, again like Srinivas, he was very very good at tech, right? He and me used to go on say cycle rides at night, big campus, and it used to be nice, right? And then we brainstormed and we got down to this. Then we had another person called Sanjeet, right? So Sanjeet, Srinivas and me, we started this thing called Resonect. हालांकि ये अलग बात है कि we never shipped the actual main product. We built
क्या था?
The product was this, like a platform where IIT Madras students and alumni can resonate with their interests and connect with each other.
Okay.
Right.
अच्छा. There is sort of a social media platform.
Sort of a social media.
For only for this group.
Yes,
IIT.
yes. Imagine like Reddit, but for IIT Madras, something like that.
Okay.
Right. So we wanted to
This
build
was
it.
more like better explanation. Reddit for IT.
Reddit for IT.
Yeah.
Along the like
अरे
social media.
बहुत चीजें करी थी यार. Yeah. अरे बहुत चीजें करी थी यार हमने. We even applied to Y Combinator for it.
Okay, so what will
Yeah. Y Combinator. Y Combinator is
Y Combinator, I think to be startup कर रहे होंगे उनको. But what was the like pitch वगैरह वो लिखते हैं ना वो one by one document का sign.
हाँ जी.
And what was their output?
हाँ जी यार. Y Combinator was like not just one page, like they had entire questions, but it were not about Resonate as much it were about कि तुमने क्या projects करे हैं वगैरह. But the one liner was still that कि Reddit for college students.
This was the one liner.
Yeah.
Actually they want you to write one liner like सबसे simple
line में
sentence
तुम्हारा
में.
product
Like for
specify
example
करना
Uber for this.
Yeah.
Like ऐसे करके आपको define करना पड़ता है.
Yes.
So yes, continuing from Y Combinator.
हाँ जी यार. So Resonate, we never actually shipped this product as.
But it made you experience multiple things.
There's more to it. So why we were building this platform and it was taking a lot more time. That is a very common scenario in tech. You would observe, you would know, you would also know. कि यार you assume कि ठीक है it will take X weeks, but more often than not it will take more than X, right? So we started building it, realized it's taking more time. We got more people. We went from a team of 3 to a team of 6. And we were building it, but at the same time ना एक बड़ी seasonal चीज़ आ गई. That was हमारा like course selection, right? So what we had to do. नहीं. So for every semester.
Okay, course selection.
हाँ. For every semester, like apart from the compulsory courses, you also have to choose your courses, few courses, right?
Okay.
So as to find like आपकी ह्यूमैनिटीज में इतने क्रेडिट्स कंप्लीट होने चाहिए, साइंस में इतने होने चाहिए, मैथ्स में इतने होने चाहिए वगैरह. एंड इमेजिन दैट देयर आर 300 प्लस कोर्सेज टू बी लाइक चोजन फ्रॉम, बट एट द सेम टाइम लाइक देयर आर दीज मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु आर अप्लाइंग, राइट? सो मेनी ऑफ द टाइम्स इट सो हैपेंस कि कोर्स मिलता नहीं है या कोर्स मिलता नहीं या फिर नोबडी नोज व्हाट द कोर्स मीन्स, राइट? सो people will have different opinions. Someone will say ये बहुत सही है, someone will say नहीं है वगैरह वगैरह. So the knowledge is very very divided. हमने बोला ठीक है यार इसको simplify करते हैं. Let's this is happening at 3 AM at night. कि ठीक है यार ये बहुत painful है. Let's make a very simple website where people can give course feedbacks and see course feedback.
The Resonate kind of change into that.
नहीं हुआ. We were like इसको side product की तरह will start. We नहीं.
तो मेन से साइड बना, साइड से डिमिनिश हो गया.
नहीं. So we thought कि hardly 50-100 people will use it at max. ठीक है. We shipped it under say 20 hours or so. And we like initially we opened it only for giving course feedback. Nobody could see any course feedback, only give. Right? हमने सोचा 50 होंगे, max to max कितने वो लोग होंगे. Within say 3 hours of that release, right, we got to a figure of 800 people.
800 लोगों ने feedback दिया course के. 800 लोग. And these are just IIT folks.
Just IIT Madras.
How you shared this? Okay, there is new platform or something.
We just shared it via WhatsApp status. You would not believe it.
Okay.
We did not send an institute-wide mail because again the reason being कि यार we had filters like यार ये professor अच्छा है बुरा है.
Attraction factor क्या था कि बंदा WhatsApp status देखते से ही खोल रहा था.
I think something कि कुछ लोगों ने नया किया है. Let's try this.
So they're more proactive about what has been built in the campus.
Imagine this ना, like you have these thousands of students जिनको course लेने हैं but don't know which course to be taken, right? They're relying on their friends. Or someone has said something.
But you just said it was more about giving a feedback.
Right. We opened it only for giving, saying कि यार जब हमारे पास enough आ जाएगा, we'll open it for
others. Nice.
Open it for viewing as well. So within 3 hours we were like 800 plus people आ गए, and within a day or so, within 2 days or so, we had close to 2,500 plus students on board. Right? So these are unique users from IIT Madras verified by their student mail ID onto our platform.
Amazing.
So that was like one big high, and still carry किया ठीक है, resonate तो नहीं बना, but CoursePal gave us a good experience. So yeah, overall.
So after this you started CoursePal.
Honey, CoursePal was the name of this.
CoursePal was this startup itself. कि जिस पे आप feedback दो.
Feedback दे. और course के related.
Yeah. We like to call it like it's a Resonate venture.
ये जो होता है ना कि startup बनने से पहले ventures, sub products.
So right now you are Walmart venture.
Yes. We are a Walmart venture. हाँ जी.
Amazing.
Yeah. So CoursePal happened, and Resonate still did not happen, right? And we tried to build it, but at the same time फिर placements आ गए, and one of the co-founders had to sit for placements, right? So हमने बोला यार ठीक है यार, okay cool, we'll try to start it 6 months later.
That was so ironical. One of the co-founders had to sit for placements.
Yeah.
So in the interview क्या कह रहे थे? हमने कंपनी बनाई है.
I mean. Okay, I'll just finish what I started. So one of the co-founders, he had to sit for placements, and then we were like, yeah, he's like Srinivas, right? He had to sit for placements, right? A few things.
I think most of the tech work was done by him.
Yeah. Yes, he was the tech pillar of sorts, right? And he had to sit. Then we were like, okay, let's do this 6 months later. Nothing is stopping us from starting again, right? Let's try to utilize this opportunity. We had a lot of back and forth discussion. Like in fact, like last दिन जब resume submission था, हमने resume भी नहीं बनाया. ठीक है, 6 hours before the deadline हम resume बनाना सोचे. ठीक है, चलो decide हो गया, चलो let's make resumes and then finally sign.
वो एक point आता है. See, बहुत rare होता है कि college से किसी ने startup किया and वो finally उसी को pursue भी किया है. मतलब बहुत rare होता है. See, doing startup is very cool stuff now. People do this thing. Like जैसे कि 3 number तुमने बताया कि 3 was the total number of startup there. I think now तो number और बढ़ गए हैं. लोग बहुत ज़्यादा करते हैं. बट एक्चुअली जो कन्वर्ट होता है ना, जिसमें कि लोग उसके बाद भी कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं फॉर लेटर लेट्स से 3 years, वो कितने लोग को जानता है? आई डोंट नो एनीवन की ऐसा.
उसमें से एक बंदा, वन स्टार्टअप इट एक्चुअली मेंट फॉर, राइट? सो 3 startups were there, right? 2 of them like one of we still maintain contact with Resonate, but we can't call it's active. Only one startup is active as of today.
Oh, it's still active.
Yes.
So what do you feel की biggest reason होता है इन सब का, like और इसको simplify करते हैं, what was your learning?
Simple चीज़ है यार, ऐसे मतलब बहुत क्लीशे बोलूँगा यार चीज़, but I think it's a fact. Ideas are dime a dozen. Execution is everything. Like it's literally everything. Like
correct.
People tend to think like this is true even in the big companies of sorts, right? कि leaders are for ideas फेंकना and then the team is to follow it up एग्जीक्यूट करना है. दैट इज नॉट ट्रू. लाइक राइट, नॉट ट्रू एज इन there goes a lot, like in fact the 80% of the work is done in your execution itself. कि ये idea है, इसको like getting to the root of it, right? More often than not you will see companies will pivot, and that is for a reason, because it's freaking hard. It's not even hard, I don't think it's the right way to think कि यार ठीक है ये मेरा idea है and this will become my startup, right? More often than not you'll have some idea. That idea will lead you to 4 different things. That 4 different things, you will try 2 different things, one of which will fail again, one of which will somewhat try out, and then you will try it again, right? And that will, it's hard. One liner is this.
So शिवम, तुमने भी स्टार्ट किया था अपना, and what was your learning? क्योंकि इसने बताया कि execution was something that was missing, but in your startup, in your case, you have executed that idea also.
Yeah, हमारा idea भी execute हो गया था, फिर भी final product ship नहीं हुआ. So it's like it's again, I think you resonate on the same page as well, कि बहुत ज़्यादा thought process जाता है, right? Idea is one thing, execution is one thing, and that execution again extends into building and launching, right? तो वो जो launch का plan होता है कि मैं at least in users से, so हम लोग क्या कर रहे थे, we were trying too hard to be perfect. Right, and people hardly know भाई, जैसे let's give the idea of this particular podcast. इधर लाइट कम है, इधर कैमरा खराब है, इधर माइक बेकार जा रहा है, इधर एडिटिंग खराब है. तो इनिशियल फेजेस में आपका कोई भी प्रोडक्ट रहता है, इट कैन बी इम्परफेक्ट. इट इज गुड टू बी इम्परफेक्ट, क्योंकि सामने बंदे को दिखता है भाई मिस्टेक है, वो आपको बताएगा and you will
see he's working. There are like n number of employee working in Flipkart. Still Flipkart is not perfect. So वो हर दिन उसको सही करने में लगे रहते हैं.
Yeah.
So इतनी बड़ी कंपनी होने के बाद भी
still
they are improving.
Perfect.
But ये हमेशा नए जो स्टार्ट करते हैं ना, they try to like do each and everything, बहुत उसमें टाइम बहुत लगा देते हैं. So better है कि just go and try,
execute and actually launch it, right? Get the users feedback, get what you think. जैसे तुमने किया, Resonate कभी release नहीं हुआ, so you never know how it would perform. कोर्स पाल तुम्हारा रिलीज होते से 800 लोग आ गए, 2500 लोग आ गए.
समथिंग यू हैव टू से, यू हैव समथिंग टू से कि ठीक है 800 आ गया.
तो इनपुट आएगा तुमको डिफरेंट रिस्पॉन्सेज के ऊपर, तुम सोच पाओगे भाई इसके ऊपर ये कर सकता हूँ, इसके ऊपर एक बिजनेस मॉडल ला सकता हूँ. तो पिवटिंग बिकम्स मोर इजियर एंड इम्प्लीमेंटिंग बिकम्स मोर.
इसमें ना एक मैं पॉइंट दूंगा कि मैं यहाँ पे खाना खाने जाता हूँ, एंड द आइडिया इज वेरी सिंपल कि एक नए कोई अन्ना है, उन्होंने अपना एक सेटअप स्टार्ट किया है खाना खिलाने का, एंड लाइक नॉर्मल चावल एंड सांभर वो सर्व करते हैं. सो 2 लोग स्टार्ट किया उन्होंने, वो ऑटो ड्राइवर हैं इफ आई एम करेक्ट. सो 2 लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया, वो पत्नी और वो खाना खाते हैं, 50 रुपये में खाना खाए, लोग बढ़े, एंड फिर उन्होंने क्या एक डेस्क लेके आए, वो ठीक है डेस्क लेके आए, फिर धीरे धीरे टेबल वेबल लाए, नंबर ऑफ प्लेट्स बढ़ा दिया उन्होंने. सो दिस इज आइडली हाउ वी शुड ऑल्सो ऑपरेट. अगर जो किसी को स्टार्ट करना है कि स्टार्ट विथ समथिंग स्मॉल, लोग आने लगेंगे, धीरे धीरे ट्राई इम्प्लीमेंटिंग न्यू थिंग एंड उसको परफेक्ट. आई थिंक यहाँ से मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि देयर इज समथिंग टू लर्न फ्रॉम हिम ऑल्सो.
ट्रू, वेरी वेरी ट्रू यार.
So that's how you proceeded into like your startup journey, and that gave you more understanding of the whole region of startups and different roles, right?
Now you think after learning product management, I think now you can execute. Like the more focus will be on execution, because you know how to execute plans.
I think more less than from execution perspective, actually a part execution, but PM expands even more. कि भाई अब आइडिया भी लाना है, एक्सपांड भी करना है, उस पर फीडबैक भी चाहिए, इम्प्लीमेंट करके लॉन्च भी करना है. ऑल ऑफ दिस कम्स within the sector of a PM.
I'll come to this just one thing before I close it up, the earlier point, right? So I feel a little, even education that we have, like the formal education that we move from your say LKG UKG से लेके अपना 12वीं तक, we are very much theoretically driven, right? कि हाँ आपके लैब्स होंगे, हाँ आपकी ये चीज़ें होंगी, दैट इज़ ट्रू, बट एट द सेम टाइम लाइक रियल लर्निंग्स हैपन्स व्हेन यू डू. दैट इज ऑल्सो ट्रू विथ ह्यूमन कैरेक्टर. आई फील कि यू आर नॉट वॉट यू थिंक, यू आर नॉट वॉट यू नो क्लेम, और यू आर नॉट वॉट यू से, यू आर वॉट यू डू. तो वो है ना जो तू कर चुका है, ठीक है. And that gives a lot of clarity, but like you as a human also, कि ठीक है यार, I have been doing these X things, which is why I am what I am, and builds clarity even for future, कि ठीक है यार ये इंसान में हो तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, right? But same thing with even here as well, right? only when you do stuff, right, you actually learn. और ये कहीं ना कहीं है, we are not taught or we are not even encouraged to build or do stuff. अगर ये थोड़ा सा अगर रूट से कर लेना, मे बी ये उतना हार्ड नहीं जाएगा हमें, या वी वोंट गिव अप so early and we will be like, हाँ यार ये तो होता ही है.
Right.
It's a part rather than saying it's the end.
Very day-to-day example is basically managing your finances. You don't get to learn anything about that in school, but you have to do your finances when you move on.
But option ही नहीं बचता भाई करना.
और बहुत सारे फाइनेंस पे ही मैं इस पे एक ऐड करना चाह रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे ऐप भी बनाते हैं कि यू कैन प्ले विथ डमी मनी और तुम सीख सकते हो, बट एक्चुअली वहाँ भी सीखना उतना नहीं होता. यू लर्न द हार्ड वे ओनली. तो तुम्हारा जब पैसा 10,000 जाएगा ना तो समझ आएगा कि अगला 2,000 कमाने के लिए तुम्हें सीख के करना है. ठीक है. सो कमिंग टू योर PM part, I think you were saying about your journey. So you were in between your startup and.
हाँ यार. So okay fine. So this is July of 2021 and like placements के लिए बैठना तो है, that is true. But part of the reason like why I did the startup was in hopes कि मेरे को placements के लिए नहीं बैठना है, right? So I was like यार नहीं बैठना है, but okay fine, like now we are at the stage, so अब क्या करें, right? So I knew कि यार core करना नहीं है, because I tried an intern and it did not suit me well. I was like okay ठीक, I might be an okay person at core, but आता नहीं उतना and करना नहीं है. Secondly, even with code, I knew that role would be limiting me, like at least for my nature, right? So I knew these two things, but at the same time, last year, like December 2020, placements were actually like really bad. Like very few companies had come because COVID had hit then, blah 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 blah, right? And now I'm sitting at July of 2021 for December 2021 के placements. And मैं बोला यार अब क्या करें, right? अब क्या करें? And तब जाके like I did not know what product was till then, right? Then my co-founder Sanjeev, he introduced me to यार Anuj ठीक है, because he was not sitting for placements, he had some other reasons, कि यार Anuj try कर सकता है, right? And I was like, hey, you know what? I was handling the design things of Resonect, sometimes business things of Resonect, you know. And I do not know this, right? And he's like नहीं तू करके तो देख वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, right? So only when I started doing it तब जाके पता यार ये तो मैंने पहले कर चुका हूँ. So something that I realized, like I can now say confidently, was कि यार I thought that I knew nothing of product, but I had been doing product for almost a year just because being in that startup, right? So yeah, that helped and that solidified my interest in product, and Hanji gave the final interview of sorts and came.
Amazing.
Great.
And also like जो तुम्हारी structure है जो बात करने के अंदर अनुज का, like that's very very clear and very like PM का एक core skill होता है having a very good structured thinking and structured way of communicating.
And communication PM का PRD होता है.
PRD होता है लेकिन तरीका भी होता है बात करने का भाई. तो ये structure कैसे बना? कोई any good habit that you had?
यार very different sort of a not an advice, but ये बोलूँगा मैं like okay, context addition, like typically like as of now there are like so many PM schools out there. There is Next Leap, there is Upraise, there are a lot of them out there, right? Those began in 2021. Like Next Leap began just in my year itself.
जब PM का bubble burst हुआ.
PM का bubble burst हो रहा था. And I did not go through any of those formal programs. So my advice would be a little different, is what I'm trying to say, right? So I did this one master class on negotiation, right? This was done by Chris Voss.
And this website is masterclass only.
हाँ masterclass.
I've seen.
And like absolute gold.
ऐसा क्या था उसके अंदर absolute gold?
अरे भाई,
he's the master in this field. Master class में जो भी आते हैं, for example, you learn filmmaking or anything from Martin's classes. So
अच्छा.
ऐसे लोग तुमको they will share their thought process, क्या process होता है इसके लिए. So I think this is one of
गाना सीधा लता मंगेशकर सिखाएगी.
No. It's like foreign only.
हाँ मतलब
उसी के आइडिया पे इंडिया में भी स्टार्ट किया था वो. नवाजुद्दीन एक्टिंग सिखाएगा. So basically
front row
basically.
Yeah, it got shut down but
it got shut down. फ्रंट रो ने भर के पीएम हायर किए थे भाई, और भर के निकाले भी.
I applied, I got rejected.
Me too.
You applied for front row?
Yeah, I got rejected. But
okay. We'll be discussing about.
हाँ यार, so not exactly structuring per se, but let's say two things. Like one is this master class, second is I'll come to it. This master class taught me this beautiful thing of conversations, right? So I'll give an example of it, right? So okay, first a little addition on who Chris was is. So hostage negotiation situations pata hai, right? Someone kidnappers or bank robbers, they will held hostages in the banks and then ask for ransom or ask for car for them to get out, right? And typically police will be surrounding them and then police will be interacting or trying to converse with them, right? So Chris was one of those negotiators, right? He got trained for that. Now imagine like how good that person would be at, you know, handling a conversation.
Life and death.
जान में अटकी पड़ी है भाई, गले में लटका पड़ा है. Imagine. So very crazy. I'll just give an example of this. One of the tricks that he uses in any conversation that you're trying to have with someone, right? One philosophy is keep to be interesting, be interested, right? Like based on this philosophy itself, if you are speaking about something, right? Okay, I'll just ask you about like, hey Shivam, how was your day?
It was fine, warm and comfortable.
Oh, warm and comfortable.
Yeah, it's warm and comfortable.
What do you mean by warm and comfortable?
I mean, अच्छा दिन था, मौसम बैंगलोर का अच्छा लगा हुआ है और घूम रहे हैं.
बैंगलोर का वेदर कहाँ से आया?
अरे बैंगलोर का वेदर तो क्यों नहीं आएगा भाई, एक ही चीज जो अच्छी है.
By this I mean, if you just take one sentence जो भी है ना, उसके last few words just repeat it. Just repeat it. So what will happen is it will automatically trick you down कि okay fine, he's interested. Let me, you know, say something more about this, right? So in this, like in a conversation, it helps to have a good conversation. That's one thing that I wanted.
यार ये मैं करता हूँ तो लोग मेरे को बोलते हैं कि ढंग से सुनता नहीं करता.
But absolute gold of a masterclass. That was one. Secondly, I was practicing a lot of cases because I was prepping actually for consult prep, right? Even though I had shit CG, I had no peaks or anything like that. But I was like, ठीक है, consult नहीं करेंगे, मैं कुछ तो हो ही जाएगा, right? So I was preparing for business roles in fact, and so there are like case prep करके एक थी, cases over coffee. Akshat Srivastav is a big Fin influencer now. He had started along with his friend Pawan Sathiraju कि hey, you know what, give us 500 a month or so, we will match you up with someone and we will give you a case to practice. A case is a typical business case, is कि आपको एक acquisition करना है, let's say, right? एक company है, acquisition करना है. What are the, like, how will you go about it? Right. So that is a case between two individuals. One will be an interviewer, one will be an interviewee. Right? So these are typical cases, and I did that for I think 2 months, 3 months or so. Right? But when I was in COVID के time पे चल रहा था. Never knew that this will in some way help in product overall, but it prepped my conversational skills and structuring overall.
और structured writing भी एक कुछ आती है तुमने.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention about this. Oh yes, I do write a lot, right? Like I have this one big note, like one big set of notebooks. I think 20 whole notebooks. Now I have an iPad, so उस पे लिख लेता हूँ मैं पूरा.
20 किताबें अभी iPad बन गई. और कोई सा ऐप था ना, Obsidian करके कुछ ऐप use.
Yes.
What is Obsidian?
So Obsidian is a wonderful tool for you to think or structure your thoughts, right? So imagine like it's like any other tool that you have कि like for example you can have आप documents बना सकते हो, right? Google Docs पे आप document बनाओगे. It's a very folder sort of a behavior, something like this. But imagine like if you could connect each of those docs to each other, right? via tags.
I've heard of this app. This is so crazy.
भाई बहुत कुछ तो क्रेजी ऐप है.
I've seen
इसको
this app,
तुम
so-
बोलोगे कि भाई मैंने 30 तारीख को क्या क्या मेमोरीज है मेरी और उससे क्या क्या रिलेटेड है ये.
This is like हाँ एक प्रॉपर एक नेटवर्क बना देता है योर इन्फॉर्मेशन का. आई थिंक मेरे कंपनी में एक लड़का था वो दिखा रहा था and I was too blown away. मुझे लगा कि ठीक है छोड़ो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया मेरे लिए.
ऑब्सिडियन भाई पूरा माइंड मैप क्रिएट कर देता है.
map
तुम्हारा बेसिकली पास पूरा हिस्ट्री निकाल देगा वो अगर एक से दूसरे से तीसरे डॉट पे कनेक्ट करके देगा. कभी एक्स की याद नहीं है ये सब पढ़ के.
They have a lot of notes there.
They have a lot of. Do you like? ऐसा weird सा नहीं लगता this? I have all of my like past noted down in a system.
मतलब weird लगता है but थोड़ा सा डर भी है कि if someone gets an access to that, right? They have an access to entire of my mind. Of all.
How is that scary?
It's scary, right? Like you don't want
Secrecy.
people to
Like it's your privacy.
Yeah, of course.
Then I think this is a great idea for us, like AI company इनके डेटा को.
हाँ. No.
AI कंपनी में ऐसा डेटा मिल गया भाई तुम्हारा ह्यूमन का.
You can have a proper persona of person. How he's thinking. अगर जो उनके ऐप के वो आइडिया.
ऑब्सिडियन ही डेटा बेचना चालू कर दे तो हो गया भाई काम. Max Pro business model. तो like
and it's such a wonderful tool, right? Like we have this thing of कि यार ठीक है डेटा लीक हो सकता है, but what they went ahead with, okay, I'm interested in products like tech physical products a lot. Obsidian is such a wonderful thing. It stores everything locally. Like it does not upload anywhere वगैरह. You can do that in premium version and they will have certain constructs to still keep it safeguarded. But the free version, it's completely local, just on your laptop, right? So
this is nice.
Yeah, this is very very nice.
Yeah, so that I think उससे बहुत ज़्यादा structured बढ़ता है कि आज मैंने क्या लिखा, कल मैंने क्या लिखा, परसों मैंने क्या लिखा.
I think this is more like journalism. क्या बोलते हो उसको? Journal. हाँ जो भी था तुमने जब
जर्नल करने से बहुत ज़्यादा लाइक माइंड क्लियर होता है तुम्हारा. यू गेट स्ट्रक्चर्ड. लाइक हमारे केस में क्या होता है पीएम लाइक कुछ भी फटता है ठीक है. कुछ फटेगा CEO आगे बोलेगा भाई क्या कर रहे हो ठीक है. हम बोलेंगे हम क्या कर रहे हैं हम बोलेंगे कि ये इतनी प्रायोरिटी है इसमें से हम ये पिक कर रहे हैं. बोलेगा ये कैसे प्रायोरिटी आ रही है. तो यू कांट जस्ट रिएक्ट आउट ऑफ अ सडन कि भाई ये you can't just let your emotions out. You have to think in a structure, communicate in a structure so that you convince the other person कि भाई this is what I have planned for your product. और वो सब आता है जब आपके पास एक proper thinking और writing structure होता है दिमाग में. And I'm still trying to build that every day. Not because I want to, because I'm being forced to.
It ties back to that same thing, right? Like one word if I have to say, like PMs bring clarity.
Yeah.
Right? Like for your own self and for the team overall, right? Like there are so many people working and at the same time like there are so many things to be done as well. Right? So clarity on what to be done, how to be done, why to be done, right? That clarity I hope we bring.
So like Obsidian, are there any tools or be like a PM you're used to like have in your daily life or any so-called resources, for example, where you try to learn any website
For any aspiring APM.
or any aspiring
Or
IP?
PM.
अच्छा only aspiring PMs APMs यार I'll still say यार startup कर लो या फिर build some project of yours.
So there's no tool.
यार I don't use any tool per se so that you know कि ये बहुत हो जाएगा. Like there will be Asana, someone will be using Jira, someone will call out like bunch of other tools. But hey, if you could like just think of an extreme way, if PM's heavy role would be on any tool, right? It will be so much likely chances कि यार automate हो जाएगा वो कहीं ना कहीं एक time के बाद, right? But you are a human, like that PM brings the humanized element of you know bringing that clarity and making that decision of sorts, point to point, right? So at least I believe so. This is my version of
Yeah, I'll also agree on this.
Excel sheet.
हाँ यार Excel sheet of course.
That brings down
Any particular PM guy on LinkedIn or any on
जिसको
YouTube?
तुम फॉलो करते हो और तुमको बहुत इंस्पायर किया है.
I think I've seen one guy on LinkedIn. He's too good in like writing these things on LinkedIn.
श्रवण टिक्कू है बहुत लिखता है. बहुत ज़्यादा दिखता पड़ा है इसके बारे में.
Got it.
Like one is head of product in Myntra. I guess name I'm not sure.
Achha. There's this one very famous guy called, okay fine, I'll tell two folks from here. One is of product, like very sharp pointed guidance towards product. His name is Shreyas Doshi. He is ex-Stripe. I think he was also consulting Google or a bunch of other companies as well. Very, very sharp guy, right? He has a bunch of master classes as well for it, right? So Shreyas Doshi, go-to guy. One more thing is like towards that clarity wala angle if someone has to build that up, right? So there is this guy called, and he's not related for product. In fact, he was a guy who, like, his name is Julian Shapiro. He built a startup, but then he built a startup, successful startup overall, and then he was wondering, like, built and sold. Now he was wondering, hey, should I do another startup or should I do something else? So he loved writing a lot, and he wrote about that thing itself, like on how did he arrive at a decision to not do a startup, even though he believed, like, with fullest of his will कि यार ठीक है यार मेरे को startup करना है, but at the same time being like नहीं यार, but I won't be able to do justice to my writing, which happens to be like he valued that higher than having a startup, right? So in fact he has like such wonderful guides on even like writing, like simply just writing के ऊपर he has this beautiful guide of sorts. So Julian Shapiro.
Yeah. So all of this helped you get used to and know what you've been doing as a PM unknowingly for a few years or 1 year or so, and then you started applying for PM, right? तो वो कैसा experience था job apply करने का PM का?
And what is the scene now PM का market, PM trend product management का?
हाँ यार ठीक है. So PM market now, like industry overall is a little going down, right? So which is why that is there. But a little differentiator for product it becomes is कि see it's a very decision making sort of a job. तो मुश्किल तो है just to enter, right? So you will be product manager for a team and there are like so many 5-6 people and you are a very costly affair henceforth. Right, so to get in is actually tough. If you have not been a product manager in past, newly product manager hire karna is like very difficult
and risky for the organization.
Yeah, very risky also. Like imagine one bad decision and so many things can go wrong, right? So yeah, very crazy. That is the scenario today, but at the same time, like many companies are getting to know what product is. Right, it's a very new sort of.
I have a hands-on experience on this in my past. Joined in a company who never knew what product has to, what they want to do with a product guy.
Right.
Explored, and then actually
you were the first product hire.
I was the product, and that actually opened up opportunity for me to enter in the product.
Yes.
तो बहुत जुगाड़ किए हैं वैसे product में घुसने के लिए.
Nice.
So yeah, that's I was coming to कि your experience of interviewing actually कि on campus कैसा experience था?
हाँ यार तो actually IIT placements like are very crazy overall, like that entirety of the, for me it was the 9th semester because I was like in a 5-year course. Typically 7th semester for 4-year folks. That's like a very crazy semester because companies will start coming from July-ish. You have to apply. And you will be shortlisted based on either your resume or there will be tests, वगैरह, right? Typically most good companies, they will have like one round of shortlisting and then the final interviews happen beginning from December 1st. So interviews begin from December 1st, like December 1st is day 1, December 2 is day 2, December 3 blah 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 blah. And the most coveted sort of companies, they come on day 1, है ना? So everybody will have the job, everybody will have the dream job of day 1. यार इसकी day 1 job लगे, इसकी day 1 job लगे, something like that. You might hear people saying it, right? So I, like when I left my startup, I was like यार मेरे को तो कुछ नहीं आता, right? And I knew कि यार business roles I will apply. I was hoping to get a consulting का shortlist. Consulting में 3 big companies that come in, MBB, McKinsey, Bain, BCG. Right, big consulting firms that they are talked about. तीनों में shortlist नहीं है. And these shortlists happen like much earlier, I think August, September-ish. And I knew कि यार ठीक है, either it's business roles or product roles. And the more I got to know about product, about researching वगैरह वगैरह, यार this seems very very interesting, right? So had the first round of say like with Flipkart, you have to do a deck round. आपको एक deck बनाना होता है 6-7 slides का.
So this is your journey for the Flipkart round.
Yes,
so
yes.
let's consolidate that properly. Actually for the viewers, because APM, by the way, for our viewers, APM Flipkart is very very well known, not just in India but across the globe. APM program बहुत बड़ी companies के ही होते हैं, and they train very freshers who are extremely talented across globe. Hired only a very few bunch of people, train them for a year or so. And a couple of years or 1 year may range for multiple different companies. और उसके बाद वो actually आपको PM बनाते हैं. Now you don't have to actually practice any MBA role of this or any दूसरा experience.
this is APM program.
ये APM तो APM program में तुम गए थे, right?
हाँ जी.
Of Flipkart. Can you tell us what was the experience of interviewing and how did you actually get in APM?
Got it. Little more addition into the APM program itself. APM program is other companies have their rotational program. This is called a rotational program of sorts for 2 years. 1 year you will be in one team, second year you will be in different team. Secondly, it's also you'll be having sessions with the leaders across the organization, but at the same time you'll be working on actual projects. You're an actual employee. There is nothing like say training per se. You'll be working on like as any other employee, right? But it's an opportunity where you are like taught, not exactly formally taught, but at the same time have their jobs, right? So it was one of a kind program started back in 2015. In fact, that was the only program, APM program of sorts for many years. Yeah. And
I guess in India till date is the only one in India.
है grow भी करता है.
Grow भी कर रहा है. पता है. अब तो सबने चालू कर दिया. Yeah. So
yes. And so your question was this, right? Like APM program of experience.
What was your experience in interviewing and getting the APM program? How did you actually get it?
Got it. Yes. So as I told you, there are like 2 rounds that happen. One is shortlisting. Second is actual interviews. So shortlisting के लिए we have to create a deck of sorts, right? That deck is also like an open-ended problem statement you are given. You are free to choose a problem and get a statement with some constraints. वो कर लिया, and after 30 days or so you get the shortlist for it. And I was like decently confident shortlist इधर तो हो जाऊंगा. That is also like a crazy like close to 300-400 people apply, make those decks, out of which 10 people will be shortlisted.
400 में से 10 लोग.
400 में से 10
PPT पढ़ के.
अच्छा,
और फिर 10 लोग का इंटरव्यू होता है.
10-15 लोगों का इंटरव्यू होता है.
See, this is number is IIT after IIT.
By IIT after IIT.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like decently confident on my deck कि ठीक है यार shortlist हो जाऊंगा, right? But imagine like 7-pointer. After like I got the shortlist, I was like very very happy. ठीक है. That was my only good shortlist till this date, right? Because OKCG not applying to many other roles वगैरह, right? So
मतलब Flipkart को IIT वाले only okay shortlist बोलते हैं.
नहीं, I'm saying like that was the only good shortlist I had. Rest all of them are okay, right? People will have close to 30-40 shortlists by when interviews start. I had 5 shortlists in total. Okay. One of which was Flipkart Day 1 again, right? So before interviews, what happens is we have this buddy program where like a Flipkart APM, existing Flipkart APM, he will be grooming you through that 30 days or so, on what to do an interview, preparing you for the interview, vagara, those things, right? And after 30 days or so, you will have the final interview. That is December 1st. Yeah. So after getting the shortlist, I was happy, of course. But at the same time, गांड फट गई थी. Because every one of those 11 folks was either an MBB shortlist, consulting shortlist, a 9-pointer, or has like crazy good PORs. PORs are positions of responsibilities, have been heads of the team or have been cores of some really good teams.
देख के फट गई होगी उन लोगों की,
देख के फट गई भाई, क्या बताऊं मैं, you know. So very crazy and I'm there, you know, like
7 पॉइंटर लेके
बैठा हूँ, no credibility, big credibility of sorts, कि
7 पॉइंटर लेके बैठे हैं और 2,500 कोर्स पाल के रिव्यू लेके बैठे
ये सब उस समय काम आया था क्या?
तब तो you don't even know ना कि यार hey this might help.
अच्छा
Till that point I was still building up कि ठीक है यार आ गया हूँ यहाँ पे, but I don't know what is there, right? So फटके हाथ में, because you see these number of shortlists and we have a culture of practicing cases amongst the shortlist itself, right? Because hey, it makes sense for us to prep for, you know, the final interviews. I know we are competing, but hey, we are the best people from the campus, right? So let's practice it, right?
और that's new, तो तुम लोग एक दूसरे के साथ ही इंटरेक्ट करते थे और शॉर्टलिस्ट के बारे में बात करते थे.
Yes. Along with the
कंपटीशन नहीं फील होता था इस चक्कर में?
बहुत ज़्यादा. And for that matter, I did not. So those toppers, right? Those MBB shortlist, मैंने उनके साथ एक भी केस नहीं करा.
अच्छा.
मेरे से हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई भाई. Throughout those course of 30 days. But yes,
I'm just imagining कि तुम्हारे क्या वो अबे तू नॉर्थ स्टार के नेट मैट्रिक क्या निकालेगा, मैं निकालूंगा, तू रुक. नहीं भाई, तुम भी शॉर्टलिस्ट हो. Yeah, then
very crazy, right? And I knew and like the moment shortlist got released, I think it was 31st of October or so. And 1st of December you would have your final interviews, so close to 30 days, right? Shortlist got released. We had a round with the APMs, the current APMs. कि यार ठीक है, hey you guys are shortlist of IIT Madras and you have to prep and we'll be guiding you, blah 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 blah, right? नाम देख के फट गई थी. And then they were like, hey, you know, one thing that we'll suggest you is practice a lot of cases. ठीक है, उन्होंने ये बोला तो सही, but for 3 days I did not do anything.
Okay.
Just to digest that fact कि ठीक है यार, these number of people are there, you have to get through it. For 3 whole days I did not do any case. All I did was me and my diary, and you know, I used to go to a cafe and write. Simply write based on 2 things कि यार ठीक है, Flipkart क्या चाहना चाहेगा, like what would it want and what are my strengths, right? क्योंकि if I try to do everything ना कि हाँ यार ठीक है चलो let's prep, एक तो मेरे तो गांड फटी थी. दूसरी, I will mess my entirety of my mind space. I will not think कि ठीक है यार 400 से I have come to the 11. I will not even acknowledge and just go like crazy, right? So I let it digest with myself for that 3 days. कि यार ठीक है, ये मेरा strength है, ये Flipkart को चाहिए. Let's try to mix and match and, you know, get to the final points. So and then I started prepping वगैरह, right? So and for the entirety of those 30 days, very very crazy, right? Like I did only 3 things throughout those 30 days. 1, I practiced a lot of cases. 2, every single day, since I loved writing, every single day I used to write like one small article and publish it out there, right? So that is like my little venting of sorts that is coming out in some or the other way. Now also it is there on my Instagram as well, ki just 30-day essays, right? It's there for those 30 days. So that records entirety of my preparation. And lastly, I was talking to my girlfriend, of course, like at late night. We were newly dating of sorts. Only 3 things ever, like not doing anything else, not going out, not doing crazy. I think we also got to know then we were practicing some cases back. We tried to practice some cases.
Yeah.
But only
क्या हुआ था इनके पास IIT मद्रास, काफी अच्छा था एक्सपीरियंस. IIT मद्रास में तुमको समझदार लोग, जंगल, बंदर और थोड़े से हिरण भी मिल जाएंगे. ठीक है, और जो तुम बंदरों के साथ खाना खाते हो, मजा आता है.
मेरा एक्सपीरियंस मूडाई का था. मैं मूडाई में गया था और वहाँ पे जो लोग IIT में मुझे एक चीज़ तो पता चल गया, लोग एक दूसरे की लेने में लगे हुए. जैसे जो कानपुर से आ गया ना, कानपुर से ऐसे क्योंकि वहाँ पे एक फेस्टिवल होता है जिसमें टेक फेस्ट होता है कुछ. उसमें रोबोट्स का गेम होता है. तो उसमें क्या लेके आया रोबोट्स और उसका फेल हो गया तो सब लगे हुए हैं. बट वहाँ का एक्सपीरियंस यही था कि सब लोग कुछ ना कुछ मतलब अगर जो गेम भी खेल रहे हैं ना, दे आर ट्राइंग टू डू समथिंग बिकॉज उनका थॉट प्रोसेस थोड़ा क्लियर हो गया है ऑलरेडी वहाँ आने के बाद.
So you were continuing.
हाँ जी हाँ. So throughout those 30 days I was doing these 3 things. जब 15th of November आ गया, I asked my buddy was my mentor from Flipkart कि यार I feel only half prepped, like जम नहीं रहा मेरे को वगैरह वगैरह.
आखिरी 3 दिन से बस किताब में लिखा है और बंदी को लिखा है.
नहीं, I meant like after 15 days or so I had a like half
had good amount of cases that day.
हाँ, had good amount of cases. I still felt कि यार half ही prepped, कुछ नहीं हुआ. And then he told me something that I carry with me like even till today. Like I still carry that.
Golden words. बताए.
Golden words, yeah, golden words. His words was, I don't know even if he meant it that way. But what he told me is this, Anuj, like just imagine, right? After all of this shit happening, you have come here. So first off, hey, already कुछ तो है. Does not guarantee you will be getting the job, but just think about it. Not anybody will get this sort of a prepping, right? If you're prepping for Flipkart, you most likely will be prepping for other product roles also, other product shortlists that you have.
Okay, so what happened after that, Anuj?
Yaar, my buddy, my mentor, he told me, I think 2-3 things यहाँ पे, but by and large his idea was that यार कि यार Anuj देख, like the prepping you are getting here वो नहीं मिल रहा कहीं और, ठीक है? Like just think about it, 30 whole days you are here, we are mentoring, guiding you, at the same time you have this crazy smart people जिनके साथ तुम practice कर रहे हो mock interviews, और ये सब छोड़ो, have a little gratitude कि यार इतने crazy folks, right? Those people will be willing to give you 1 hour of their time to actually interview you. Like होगा select नहीं होगा select वो अलग बात है यार, but that 1 hour is yours ना. Yeah. They will give that 1 hour no matter what.
And it's anyways productive for you to have that kind of knowledge.
Productive. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, that's what my buddy told. And उसके बाद ना मतलब my mock interviews, they started getting better. Day by day I was getting confident. है ना? तो at the end of 30 days, imagine like I have struggled with being consistent writer, but I have completed 30 essays overall. Right? Every single day I was writing, I was posting as WhatsApp status. I have those 30 days essays. That is done. Done. All the mock interviews are going like crazy. I'm at an absolute high. And I'm just calling up my seniors, that buddy again, saying कि है यार कल जो भी होगा मेरे को नहीं पता, but hey, thank you. I am here because of you, your contribution somehow. Right?
Sure.
Cut to next day, 7 AM interview था. 7 to 8 again, like मेरे को लग रहा है मैंने फोड़ दिया भाई.
यार this is the day of the interview.
This is
when you actually got
yeah.
सुबह 7 बजे से इंटरव्यू चालू हो गया.
सुबह 7 बजे से इंटरव्यू.
भाई क्या ले रहे हैं यार तुम्हारी.
This though is actually lenient. Like sometimes interviews start at like 2 AM 3 AM ish also.
That's not start. That's actually end. Yeah.
So day ones are like typically very very crazy. Why? Because the most coveted companies will be fighting for the most coveted students, right? And typically day one is that famous because of the 1 crore packages that you see out there.
Actually मिलते हैं 1 crore के पास.
मिलते हैं.
But India में.
It's actual big billion day of this.
Big billion day और campus वाले.
तुम्हें पता नहीं था but वो था वहीं पे.
Yes.
Okay.
And typically tech companies और tech roles के लिए the software roles उनके होते हैं 1 crore packages and
1 crore इंडिया में तो नहीं मिलते हैं, बाहर ही मिलते हैं.
बाहर ही
हाँ. और eventually purchasing power parity आ जाती है.
Yes, sort of.
Yeah.
But at the same time like really good packages at least for starting out. But non-tech roles उतने में भी कम ही होते हैं. Right? Day one non-tech roles imagine कितने कम होंगे. Only consulting companies and Flipkart or like Grow also comes as a product role. Right? So very very crazy sort of day one. And 7 AM I had my interview. 8 AM interview चला, मेरे को लगा मैंने फोड़ दिया भाई.
अच्छा.
कि यार इधर था मैं, इंटरव्यू बहुत सी गया एंड एक्सपेक्टिंग 10 minutes later कि यार ओके अनुज यू नो व्हाट नेक्स्ट राउंड भी हो जाएगा तेरा. एंड वी वर टोल्ड कि यार 10 AM तक सब तुम्हारा क्लोज हो जाएगा, है ना? ऑल द इंटरव्यूज एवरीथिंग विल बी डन. अब 8-10 कॉल तो आया, बट द कॉल वॉज कि अनुज तेरा नहीं हो रहा है, प्लीज प्रेफर नेक्स्ट इंटरव्यू. मैंने बोला यार मतलब क्या चल रहा है यार, लाइक आई फील यू नो माई इंटरव्यू हैव गॉन रियली वेल, प्लीज डोंट प्रैंक मी यार, बिकॉज पीपल प्रैंक यू नो जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट. इज लाइक अनुज आई एम 90% श्योर, ठीक है, नहीं हो रहा है, आई एम टेलिंग यू अगेन जस्ट फॉर यू कि यार ये कर लो. एंड देन आई वाज लाइक यार मतलब, बट देन आप उस सेकंड कुछ सोच ही नहीं पाते हो क्या हो रहा है, राइट.
तो ये कोई मूवी का वो वाला सीन हो गया भाई कि अभी हीरो हीरो इज डेड
नाउ व्हाट.
अभी फिर how did the hero survive again?
I remember like having my back against the door at ATM like for 10-15 minutes. I was just there. I could not think यार क्या होगा, right? But ऐसे होता है कि बुरा लगा of course, but they were like ठीक है यार, okay cool, अच्छा था जो भी था, ठीक है. बुरा लगा, अच्छा था जो भी था. पता है बुरा ज्यादा कब लगा? जब मैं मेस गया ना खाना खाने के लिए, मेरा ब्रेकफास्ट खत्म करने के लिए, भाई लाइक पीपल आउट देयर जिनका ना डे वन था कुछ नहीं, वो पूछ रहे भैया क्या हो गया, आप ऐसे इन कपड़ों में क्यों हो? मैंने बोला भाई यार, सो इमेजिन यू आर वॉकिंग टू द मेस, यू आर मीटिंग पीपल एंड योर फ्रेंड्स अक्रॉस कि अनुज व्हाई आर यू ड्रेस्ड डाउन, राइट. सो बाय द टाइम आई हैड सूटेड डाउन एंड एवरीथिंग, सूट बूट सब छोड़ छाड़ के अपने नॉर्मल चड्डा और अपना टी शर्ट में आई वेंट टू द मेस, है ना. एंड आई टोल्ड देम कि नहीं हुआ, एंड पीपल वर डिसबिलीविंग एंड ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, बट कोई कोई लोगों को खुशी भी दिखती है उनके चेहरे पे, अच्छा नहीं हुआ तुम्हारा. सो वेरी क्रेजी. एंड व्हेन आई वाज इन मेस आई कॉल्ड माय मेंटर अगेन, भाई तू गाली दे दे मेरे को, बट एटलीस्ट लाइक यू नो आई वांट टू हैव दैट वन चांस. आई टोल्ड हिम, हे आर यू श्योर कि ये मेरा इवैल्यूएशन है, you know, are you sure कि you're not checking it again with someone? He's like, Anuj, chup rahe, I know what answers you have given, I have the sheet in front of me. He read out my answers. I was like, हाँ यार मेरा ये तो है. And he was like, यार Anuj please, you know, मेरे को भी काम है अभी, I'm handling the placements. तू इकलौता बंदा नहीं है यार.
कौन सा म्यूजिक नहीं आता.
And then I remember going back to my room all sad and everything, but I was like यार ठीक है fuck it, मैं flight mode पे फ़ोन कर लेता हूँ and I'll just sleep. I don't care about anything now. So I'm there at like 9:30 and I'm trying to sleep, right? I'm glad I did not put my phone on flight mode because I get a call from a different Flipkart APM. He was also handling placements, saying कि अनुज आधे घंटे में इंटरव्यू है,
तैयार हो जाओ,
कर लो प्रेप, ठीक है.
This is where we start going high.
Imagine यहाँ पे थे, इतना नीचे चले गए, and then it's rising back again. You know, I called my mentor again कि भाई सही में ऐसा हो गया कि नहीं, इस बार तो सही में बोल तो भाई, you know. So
now with that morale you have to go and give an interview.
And that morale you have to go and give that interview, right? So, but now I don't have that confidence. I don't have that high ना कि यार किस बेसिस पे मैं बोलूँ कि यार हाँ यार ठीक है कर दूंगा मैं. But I remember like dressing up again. This time no suit, no tie and all. सिर्फ plain shirt अपना ही है. That's all. Plain shirt, plain white shirt and my pants. I went down, पानी लेके आ गया, पानी पी लिया, and then I was like ठीक है यार let's go for it. Typically एक interview 1 घंटे का होता है. That guy grilled me for almost 90 minutes or so. एक interview एक case होती है उसमें, ठीक है. He took 3 cases of mine in that 90 minutes or so, and पूरी जी जान डाल दी भाई, पूरी जी जान डाल दी, जो है जैसा है भाई ये है ना. वेरी वेरी क्रेजी एंड लाइक वेरी क्रेजी. एंड आफ्टर दैट राइट यू नो क्या होगा इज लाइक you don't have a clue at all, right? You are completely gone because आपके हाथ में जो भी था वो तो चला ही गया, right?
पर बड़ी थे ना.
नहीं, उस पे भरोसा नहीं कर सकते भाई.
हमेशा करा.
बड़ी तो कॉल करके सिर्फ बोलता है भाई तेरा नहीं भी हुआ तो भी ठीक है, भाई तेरा नहीं हुआ.
I actually pinged him and he's like यार तू अब क्या ही करेगा, right? There is nothing more to be done. अब chill कर.
This guy is highly optimistic.
And I like 11:30 my interview got done, ठीक है. And I could not be in my room. I did not dress down. I did not do anything. I knew that I could not be in my room. I went to my friend's room. I simply just you know I laid down. That's all. I did not do anything. But तभी बीच में I was like यार fuck it, इतना venting तो निकालना ही है. So I made a quick vlog with my friends. We can have a look at some time. But वो कर लिया एंड दैट 1 hour और सो पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है दिमाग में, वेरी क्रेजी. बट एट 12:45 राइट, लाइक 12:40 हो रहा है, मैं आई वाज लाइक मैं उसको अगेन पिंग कर लेता हूँ भाई, एक बार फिर से कॉल कर लेता हूँ भले ही ना बोले तू ना बोल भाई, बट कुछ तो बोल, है ना.
तुम्हारा रिलेशनशिप ना ऐसे टॉक्सिक गर्लफ्रेंड और बॉयफ्रेंड जैसा लग रहा है यार. अब बता दे, अब देखे नहीं करना, अरे तू आज आप तो तुझे करना है लाइक.
And at 12:45 the same guy he texts me Anuj. ऐसे भी नहीं ठीक है कि यार अनुज नहीं हुआ है और अनुज हो चुका है. He's like Anuj. Like you are wondering what will be the next text. You know, Anuj waiting, typing. And then he put Anuj पैसा ही पैसा होगा.
That moment.
That moment
of your life.
It's called happiness.
Pursuit of happiness.
You thought of like doing
I shouted. Yeah, I shouted really hard.
कपड़े निकाले.
कपड़े निकाले, but
कहीं हो रहा है काम.
see जब इतना मेहनत लगाओ ना किसी चीज में and finally जब वो होता है then you try to do everything जो कि possible है to just to enjoy that particular moment.
Yes.
And then you finally became an APM.
Finally became an APM.
At Flipkart. Actually, upcoming APM. So that's an amazing छोटी सी मूवी बन गई भाई ये, और ये सिर्फ सुबह 7 से लेके 12 तक की कहानी है, 4-5 घंटे की. Such a huge roller coaster. But like anyway, it's a huge experience, right? And really good experience in placement. But agar if anyone wants to now crack into these APM courses, right, program, because it's APM course or program is basically a very shortcut way of becoming a product manager,
right?
Because you'll be taking some decisive moves.
Right, definitely.
Everyone wants to crack it, और पैसा भी अच्छा पे करता है. How would you recommend someone who's starting out as a कि मुझे अब APM में घुसना है, program
also like particularly in APM because APM programs बहुत कम ही है इंडिया में भी, जैसे बता रहे थे grow and but overall अगर जो product management में भी घुसे तो
I get it. I'll generalize it and I'll also give a little Flipkart or APM program specific. Flipkart APM program is again like specific only for IITs and few campuses. वहाँ पे भी anyways like get to the campuses, have a structured presentation for them and tell the entire process, right? So and it's there on the website also in case anybody wants to know. So that's more or less like that way. But if I were to suggest for anybody to start up with an getting started into product career, like see APM stands for what? Associate Product Manager, right? Like associate, why? Because you're starting out as an product manager.
Associate to the product manager.
Good plug. Right? And so there are like two ways I would say. Like first though is like a little formal way of going about it. But even before that, I will add a little context onto it. There are like so many people who apply to product because people think ki, hey, this is a no code role and at the same time it pays well, right? So little warning onto this ki yaar, hey, it might be so, but also at the same time does not mean anybody and everybody
can be a PM.
Not can, but should also.
Should also, yeah.
Right? Because see, like many people would think yaar, again like no code plus ज़्यादा पैसा वगैरह वगैरह, but then that may not be what you would want, right? So first of all, I'll say कि try to figure out a little about what product management is and will it you actually like it, right? It, for example, it is not very much hands-on on actually doing. You won't be coding, you won't be designing, you won't be purely into strategizing. It's everything, but at the same time like little slice of each of those, right? So first of all, understand please, like it may not be for you. Get into it, but for the right reasons. It aligns with your nature. It is something that you see yourself being in, right? So that, but coming to how part. Formal ways, obviously there are like way many programs right now. There is Appraise, there is Next Leap, where there is like structured teaching programs of how to do it. And all of them are good ones. There is no way about it, right? But at the same time, if you would ask me like how would I do it again or how would I suggest it to anybody, is कि यार नाम में ही छुपा है, like product manager, right? Look around you. I mean, you're watching a smartwatch. You guys have beautiful tech here, right? All of these are products. And absolutely wonderful products, right? They do so much wonderful things. Just think about it. Like, we are talking, someone is actually listening, and this info is getting passed to it via YouTube, Spotify, whatever that is, right? So, wonder, curiosity about the products that are around, right? Build that curiosity around कि यार ये इतनी मस्त चीजें हो कैसे रही है. Just think about it, like ChatGPT answering you in so many things. Not just ChatGPT, even WhatsApp for that matter, right? Think about it, say 15 years back, 20 years back, how people used to communicate versus how they communicate now, right? I can, like, you guys can take a snap. I can take a snap and just share it to all of my friends. Just put it on Instagram stories, right? So many wonderful products are out there. Being curious about them, right? And the thing with this is, now once you are curious, you fall into love with few things, right? Once you fall into love with few things, right, you actually not only love that thing, also notice few differences, right? Differences as in, like, not differences, but problems with it, right? Once you start finding problems with your loved product, right? Someone will be like, यार मेरे को WhatsApp बहुत पसंद है, Instagram बहुत पसंद है, whatever that is. You will find problems with it. Once you start find problems with it, right, then you will try to solve it. You're already halfway there in actually finding the good problems and then actually trying to solve them, right? So look around. We have a lot of wonderful stuff going out there. Being curious.
I'm getting one idea. You are trying to say something ki do your own like experience in terms of solving the problem that you face in your everyday life.
Yes.
I think you'll get the clarity how things are getting, like, solved, or how any problem is solved. And then once you're clear ki okay, this is the way, or you figure out ki okay, this is the way how I should solve any problem, then try to learn each and every steps related to this.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I think on to add on your statement, right? Curiosity होना बहुत ज़रूरी है to understand what's going around you and to identify the correct set of problems.
Yes.
The more you understand that, the better you get at picking those problems and consolidating it. ठीक है? और to quantify it कि और ज़्यादा better कैसे कर सकते हैं, I think decks.
Yeah.
Best way to, like, consolidate all of your ideas. What are the solutions around it?
Yes.
And I think उसको जितने often करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा you get practice to more and more products and
Right. If I have to be a little more specific onto each of those, like, falling in love, being curious is like what you have to do, but in terms of actual deliverables, like, have an online credibility.
yeah.
Have an online credibility. By that I mean, see, getting into product is difficult because people can't trust you. Like, why should I trust you in making decisions?
Decisions,
Why should I trust you? Like, that is why it's such a rigorous way of checking. But hey, can you build an online credibility on yourself, right? Nobody's stopping you from, finding 2 problems with LinkedIn and posting on LinkedIn itself, right? Build a deck, build slides of sorts, maybe even 3 slides, who knows, who cares, right? But find a good problem, solve it, put it out there, put online, right? Build that online credibility, then start applying.
Yeah.
Right? So
लोग मीडियम आर्टिकल्स बनाते हैं, लोग डेक्स बनाते हैं, लिंक्डइन पे पोस्ट करते हैं, लोग अपना खुद का नोशन पेज बनाते हैं.
So basically kind of portfolio, either direct portfolio की एक website link हो, otherwise like indirect like LinkedIn or in some
portfolio with proof of work. कि you can prove yourself कि
this
yes,
is how
if I take up a problem, this is how I think and this is how I deliver.
Got it.
And this is how consistent I am. Consistency matters a lot in product management. That's amazing. और like कोई any particular guides that you have, किसी को आजकल बहुत सारे crash course चल रहे हैं, next leap, PM school, ये school, वो school, फनाना डिमका. तो any suggestion that you have कि ये करना चाहिए या फिर नहीं करना चाहिए?
यार मतलब I think कि I'll just say like best is you will learn by doing. But any of these courses will be good enough courses. I have never done them, so I wouldn't have a very good understanding on each of those. But I can assure you of this, कि they have put a lot of effort into creating those courses. So अच्छा तो होगा for sure. Yeah. But that won't be enough. Perhaps that's say 40%, 50% maximum. Rest of the 50% will come from your own work, right? Your own putting yourself out there, and building stuff. So
what it might help you is providing you correct direction.
Yes.
But आगे तो
Yes,
तुमको
yes,
खुद
yes,
की-
yes.
I've interacted with a lot of folks from these so-called, schools, edtechs, right? Simple 6 हफ्ते का learning course. Interviews भी लिए इन लोगों के. And you understand, तुमको लगता है कि भाई इस बंदे को सबको कॉन्सेप्ट पता चल जाता है सारे, कि भाई नॉर्थ स्टार मेट्रिक क्या होता है, पीआरडी क्या होती है, ये क्या होता है, इससे कैसे इंटरेक्ट करना है, राइट, ग्रोथ मेट्रिक कैसे ट्रैक करनी है, फाइन, सबको कॉन्सेप्ट पता है. लेकिन तुम एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट सॉल्व करवाने जाओगे ना, तो वही करेगा जिसको एक्चुअली इंटरेस्ट है उसको सॉल्व करने में. सो दैट्स हाउ द डिफरेंट, दैट्स वेयर यू पॉइंटिंग एट, कि यू विल हैव टू एक्चुअली डू इट विद योर ओन क्यूरियोसिटी.
It comes from a deep care ना यार, कि do you care to actually solve the problem or are you here to take that high paying job?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Got it.
what are you here for?
And that's why product managers are owners, क्योंकि they have that deep care for that particular product. They think about कि भाई ये बनाऊंगा तो ये किसी को help करेगा. Also that.
एक fun question: how many meetings are there every day scheduled for you?
How many meetings?
Because
Oh
I've
my
seen
God.
him
Yeah.
busy from 12 to 12.
भाई मेरा सुबह 10 से चालू होता है, रात को 12 को खत्म
Bhai,
होता
bhai,
है.
bhai, bhai. For me, it was a little lenient. I started my day at 9:15 and I ended at 6 p.m. or so. Continuous freaking meetings all across, right? So, yeah, that's a thing. Bunch of meetings, yeah. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
How many meetings do I have? I say yes.
Yes, वो ग्राफ आता है ना कि do I have meetings? Yes, but in capitals. तो दो ही ऑप्शन है उधर. भाई मीटिंग से तो बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी रहती है, and it's a part of the job as well,
It's a part of
right?
the job.
और ये उससे एक और मेंटालिटी आ जाती है, भाई पीएम करता ही क्या है, सिर्फ
दिन भर
मीटिंग
meeting लेते हैं.
I mean, भाई हम भी बोल सकते हैं तुम दिन भर करते क्या, कोड ही तो लिख रहे हो दिन भर.
स्टिल कोड लिख रहे हैं, वो दिख रहा है ना, मतलब प्रोडक्ट आखिरकार दिखता है, डेली नहीं दिखता है ना. फॉर एक बार शिप हो गया, लॉन्च हो गया, यू विल बी देयर.
वो भी बोलेगा तो कोडर बोलेगा मैंने कोड किया, डिजाइनर बोलेगा मैंने डिजाइन किया,
तुमने
PM क्या बोलेगा मैंने क्या किया, है ना. सो
I mean, there's no, the product itself is the result, right? Or I remember my, one of the founders where I work in, they say कि product management में ये scene है ना, it's not a very appreciated job, right? No one is gonna appreciate that. Wow, yourself made such a good product.
yeah.
Because the good product की खासियत ये है कि it's good. Like no one is coming to appreciate it. भाई कल को तुम Flipkart का search better कर दोगे तो भाई search better हो गया. No, it's just a good experience. It's smooth. But on the contrary, it's a very satisfying job. The more you get into it, the more you solve, the more you think कि भाई ये कल से कितना ज़्यादा आज optimize हुआ है, and the more amount of impact I've created around those users.
Yeah.
It's a little like a little design as well, right? So in design, so I know because I was an ex-designer at my startup. I know that because there is a quote, I think Don Norman says this, कि good design is invisible. ना कि आपको पता नहीं पड़ता. It works as the way it's supposed to work, right? So that's a win for all of us maybe. So
जहाँ सोचना पड़ जाए वहाँ अच्छा है.
Yeah.
right.
Dipankar would agree.
What's now your future goal or
What's my future goal?
Where do you see yourself in product or
what's
not?
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do you see yourself?
Flipkart round 3.
My buddy telling me those golden words.
हाँ यार. So I think I'll answer it with my little thing of core values. So core values is again like something that I derived from Julian Shapiro. What does Anuj stand for, right? Anuj's core values are, one is he absolutely loves creating things. Okay? One. Two, he absolutely loves human connections. Okay? That is second. Three, there are a lot of things like say there is fame, there is money, there is bunch of things, but primarily like two things that I would focus on. What does future of Anuj look like? What Anuj's future looks like in product management, absolutely love the field, absolutely getting to work on wonderful stuff and creating value out there, right? So that thing will definitely continue. Product management as a career, right? Along with this, right, I think it helps with my nature or my hobby of like writing clarity के लिए. There will be something that I'll be creating for sure. Creating could be anything, like it could be writing, it could be
products.
It could be products. Sometime back I created a bot that if you input the like total to it and say which stadium is RCB chasing in, it will create a wonderful story. It was backed by ChatGPT. It will create a wonderful story of how RCB won that final match and won the IPL Cup. It did not. I was saying like I have a bot that creates a story.
Creates a story, okay.
Right. So
PM भी यही करता है ना, स्टोरी क्रिएट करके फीड कराता है लोगों को, भाई सपने दिखाओ, प्रायोरिटी बनाओ और एग्जीक्यूट करवाओ. Yes.
That is pretty much it.
Amazing.
I think there were lots of new things for me to also learn, because I'm someone who is always looking towards how product manager, strategy, business, impact, like these things are something that I am like nowadays more into, because business metrics is something like product design is basically what you do, like you try to achieve those metrics as well as taking care of your users also. So for me it's like good amount of insights, also your story about that filmy story about how you cracked that APM ka role. Like for our audience also, I'm sure ki they will have lots of things to learn from his journey. Also the thing that you said ki what are your advices, like how you can do and when to think ki whether you are going to be a PM or thinking in that direction. So thank you for all this valuable content. In case if we think there is also a requirement from our audience to understand more on these things and we want to discuss more deep into PM's things and all, we'll definitely have you with us here on our couch.
Sure. Thank you so much, Divankar. Thank you so much, Shivam. Very, very grateful to having called here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.